you also wanted to say, okay, how should we be searching when returning the value? Should we start from the lowest to the highest or highest to lowest? Okay. So as you can see here, it says one is a search from the first entry to the last. It means in this case, when you put one here, Excel function will start searching from maize, which is row number 2, to the last, which is beans. If I had put 2 there, it will start from beans to what? So you can choose according to how your analysis is made. And then you also have the last option, which is the search mode. Yeah, so after that one, I've already explained on that one. Then close. Sorry. And then you close. And then you close. Yeah, so as you can see, so once the function is done, you just copy it. So basically, it's returning the same value because we don't have any missing values about the maize, and also we don't have any kind of order in terms of whether there's an order in terms of price starting from the lowest to highest or highest to lowest. And there's only one unique product for each. That's why you see that the values for both maize and for both VLOOKUP and XLOOKUP are quite the same. Yeah. So that's how we go about these functions.
Yeah, so when creating a new sheet, we go on this arrow, then you add a new sheet. So it becomes a blank sheet. So you go on your data, then you copy, you highlight the data, then you copy it, then you go to your new sheet and copy and paste. That's how to create a new sheet. So you can see here is our data. So then we will name our data. For instance, here gender, you can name it. Family type, for instance, is milk beer. So here you can use the short form for farming type. Occupation, yeah. So and other columns you can use the same way.
Alright, so the next thing we're going to create a pivot table. So the first thing we are going to highlight the entire spreadsheet. Is that so?
Yeah.
And then we'll click on insert and then select pivot table.
So then go on row.
We'll add rows.
Then program. So program. No, program first. So it's program across genders. So you add a program then, and then gender.
So after adding the row, we're going to add columns, which is the gender, and we'll also add values, which is the student ID.
So you can see so it's distributing across the that means in APM you only have 10 males. Females. Males 21 and the grand total. And the total of the whole observation of all students in the world across these programs 159. So that's how we do it. So the next question says what? So the next question. So it says well, before that, descriptive statistics. So you have to get charts. So just for you to create a chart, you just select the data, Once you select the data, you go on what? Insert chart. So it's working on that one. So by default, this is the chart that comes in. So you are free to choose which chart you want, either this one or so it's said two charts. So this is the first. So you just the same selected data. You just select it once again and go on insert and chart, and then you can choose your chart. Which chart do you want? Either this one or which looks like a what? A heat map, something like that. Okay. Yeah. So that's how we create a what? Pivot. So next question says what? Should get create a pivot table cost evaluating mathematics and computer cross programs. So and then after that a heat map. So yeah. So yeah, to create a what, you go back to the selected data. It still remains selected, and then you click a set, then create another pivot table, a new one now called pivot table 2. Now with this one, you add the row, which is the one, it is the program first, and then you add the values. So you add for the ranking for mathematics, and you also add the ranking for same value for computer. So you can set okay, do you want the ranking to be in terms of number? I would prefer going for average. To go for average, this will change. So it's rating out of 5. The same way here, average. You see that the rating is out of 5. So that's how we create a pivot table for what? For cost relevance. That's for mathematics and computer. Now, for you to create a heat map looks like it shows you the colors in terms of relevance. You can choose to say when someone just sees a green color, should be able to tell this is the highest ranking or the lowest ranking, depending on the color. So for you to create a heat map, you just select the data, then format, and then go where it says what conditional formatting. Once you do that, it brings you a table or a box, so you're able to select the color of your preference. If you want to say, for instance, we want our maximum value to have a red color, it means you have to do this. This is the minimum value. Yeah, mean value. No, mean value. And then you have midpoint. Midpoint, it means you can say, okay, you want the number to have maybe whatever number you choose, either white, it's okay. So you see that some of the values here is basically a mixture of values. You see 3.6, 3.7, 3.8, these are mid values. That's why you see a range of colors mixed up. And then you can also choose to say maximum value. Maybe you want it to have perhaps purple. I don't know, is this purple pink? Yeah, you see 5 has this paper. Looks like purple. Yeah. So 5 has a maximum. So this is how a heat map looks like. Yeah. And then continue to the rest of the questions. Says what? Create a new sheet of input data on African countries with the relevant petrol and diesel fuel prices, and create 2 maps showing different petrol demand. Now, in terms of this one, we had to collect some data. We had to collect some data about fuel prices. So we'll just go into that data to check. So we had some data here. Here, collected some data based on different websites of Google. So we managed to collect data from Malawi to about 15 countries in Africa with the petrol and diesel prices. So the other question says, after doing that, you set that data into Excel, and then you create a map. A map. Is it so? Create 2 maps showing difference in petrol and diesel across Africa. So as we remember in class, we learned something to say you have first to select this. Now remember that maps are in categories of charts. So you go and insert the charts, and then under the same category of chart, as is working, I said this is by default, but you can customize to say I want a map. So you go under the category for maps, and then you select the map that you want. You can see that automatically a map pops up, and just by putting your cursor there, it shows you the different prices. So this is Algeria, and then this is Libya, Egypt. We also have Malawi between. Yes, you can zoom it. And yeah, Malawi, where petrol is around 3.854 and the diesel around 1.65. The other has Angola and all. So had it been we had diesel and prices for all 54 countries in Africa, you'd have seen petrols all over. But here we don't have data for such kind of countries. We only have data for some of the countries. That's why you see some of the countries here are black. Yeah, so that's how we create a map. So this is the end of our presentation working on Excel. Yeah, we have forgotten one. Okay, to get yourself over there. But then to create another map, you can also you highlight this, create a set, then you go to the same chart, and then you select a different type of map. So you can see how it looks like. Once you just show there, it shows you there. You see? It shows that this is Malawi. You can see a map with no data. This one. So it shows you the kind of the country itself and yeah, where it's located and how the prices of fuel. So that's how we have create two maps showing the varying what the prices. Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah.